up on ATV News.
We'll take you to the site of the Bear River Massacre and show you what's changing about the site itself.
A car chase through Cache Valley will show you where it ended and who was involved.
Have you ever felt nervous or in danger walking alone? There's a class on campus that will teach you how to defend yourself.
In men's basketball, the Ags took it to the wire with the Bulldogs. We'll show you the shot that made the Bulldogs roll over.
The temperature to start your February ends in 0. I'll tell you what the first number is in weather.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Yasmina Geary.
And I'm Nicole Heaps. A police chase ended in Smithfield City yesterday after the driver of the vehicle backed into a police car. Police say after attempting to stop the vehicle, the man continued driving for a few miles before turning a corner where he then stopped the car. Police say as officers approached the vehicle, the man backed into an unmarked police car, causing minor damage.
It was an exciting scene. It was a little intense, but kind of exciting. No, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a little exciting, but definitely wanted to make everybody safe, and that's what our main focus was trying to make sure everybody was safe.
Sergeant Bunce says the man was wanted for evading another agency and may have been driving under the influence.
A school bus with 20 students was involved in a crash on Thursday. UHP says this Cache County school bus was driving on US 91, just north of Richmond, where they were hit by this Mustang driven by a mother with her infant son. Highway Patrol says the mother and son were transported to the hospital and 2 students were treated for minor injuries and released on the scene. UHP says weather conditions at the time might have contributed to the accident, and they want you to remember to be careful in driving in bad weather.
It's just one of those situations where when it's snowing and there's weather conditions, we want to make sure that everybody's giving extra time, looking out, making sure that the roads are clear before they proceed.
Goodrich says the accident is still under investigation.
It's been 155 years since the Shoshone tribe has owned the land just north of Preston, Idaho. That all changed a few days ago. ATV's Braden Clark has more.
This is the baby mugs, and they do have soot on them. And I would like to donate it to the museum.
Every January 29th, the Shoshone tribe comes together to commemorate for those who lost their lives back in 1863 during the Bear River Massacre. The tribal leader says this is the largest gathering they've seen in years. Among the crowd, school kids from Preston.
I like how the man who was speaking said that there are lots of different perspectives and that there's not always one side of the story, there's multiple.
I myself am from an Indian tribe, and I thought it was just amazing how they called the names.
The names of those who lost their lives years ago.
Ever since the Bear River Massacre, the Shoshone tribe hasn't owned this land. That actually changed recently as they hope to build things like walkways and raise money to have events like this in the future so they can remember those that lost their lives that fateful day.
Thanks for letting us come today. Appreciate you.
It is good news on a bittersweet day.
If you look around and you see everybody happy and smiling, and it's just great that everybody wants to come together and celebrate a horrific event, but it doesn't define us.
Perry said they want to build an interpretive center over the next few years so they can share their story.
Native American perspectives are rarely heard in history books, so it'll be a good place for learning to take place.
Braden Clark, ATV News.
And here at USU, we also remembered those affected by the Bear River Massacre. These people are gathered in the Taggart Student Center at Utah State to learn about the massacre from a few members of the Shoshone tribe. watch a memorial video, and share a moment of silence. The organizer says we should remember and learn from this and other Native American tragedies.
The fact is that there's not very many Native Americans anymore. Not very many of my tribe left. But there's no remorse, no one pays attention to it. And they don't realize how much pain it's caused my tribe, my people, our family.
If you'd like to learn more about the story of the Bear River Massacre, the purchase of the land, or how USU remembered it, visit our Facebook page.
Homelessness might not seem like it's here in Cache Valley, but on Saturday, a homeless count proved it is. ATV's Aaron Cox joined volunteers for the count.
I'm here in downtown historic Logan, back behind a popular restaurant, a place by day where you come to get food, but by night, you would never guess that someone is sleeping right here.
How much time have you stayed in the shelters?
Volunteers found Juan sleeping here Saturday at 4 a.m.
Here's a McDonald's food cart, get me some breakfast this morning.
All right, thank you. They'll actually ask them the questions. Would you mind if I complete this survey with you? Ask you a couple questions. Is that okay with you? And then, offer a $5 gift card to McDonald's is what we're doing this year.
And it wasn't the only visit.
Hello? Is anybody in there?
Made that morning. A for abandoned on a car in the Denny's parking lot.
Didn't realize that we'd find somebody actually in the parking lot, in the car.
Found sleeping under an iced over windshield.
Are you okay? You warm enough? You got what you need? He said they've been doing this for about 8 months.
Okay.
And over in the Walmart parking lot, they found this old ambulance.
He chose to be homeless and live in this, his mobile ambulance here.
They're homeless because they want to be off-grid.
But mental health, credit and debt issues, and drug abuse are also reasons people are sleeping on the streets. Whatever the reason, if the cold can't keep them off the streets.
They pick the coldest day of the year because you find the truly homeless that literally have nowhere to go.
Volunteers hope they can find and help them.
The intent is just to find them as much as we can, which is why we have all the volunteers.
And Phil Redlinger,
be honest, I want to know what you guys got out of this.
From the Department of Workforce Services, says this is the largest group they've had.
We actually had enough to cover on foot all of Logan, which is amazing.
Both young and old volunteers saying this was an eye-opening experience for them.
It's a bigger problem than people really think.
One can understand what life is like. So it's the drive. Experiencing it for the first time, or just identifying someone that's homeless for the first time, that's the drive.
Phil says they counted 7 people homeless in the valley over the last 3 days. But when the temperatures rise, so will the amount of homeless people, a reality he says he hopes more people will be aware of. Aaron Cox, ATV News.
If you know anyone in need of help or would like to volunteer, a link to the Bear River Association of Governments, or BRAG, is posted on our Facebook page.
When we come back, a new hotspot for Utah authors. We'll show you where.
What's your best defense in the case of a physical assault? One class will teach you, coming up.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. Did you know your intuition can play a part in self-defense? I went to a class on campus that shows you how it can help in dangerous situations.
If you see one, kind of make a mental note of it, because you
In this rape aggression defense class at Utah State, these students are learning preventive strategies for defending themselves against sexual predators.
Why would you look under the vehicle?
I really like what we've been learning about just if you do anything, you're more likely to get out of a situation. If you yell, if you put up any sort of defense, or if you fight back, like, you're way less likely to get hurt or be in a situation where you're going to get hurt.
Working on simple martial arts skills like punching or blocking, as well as simple gross motor skills like running or walking, can help one be prepared for self-defense, according to the teacher of the class. He says that although you should be ready for any situation, it isn't always the stranger jumping out of the bushes that you should be worried about. It could be an acquaintance, someone you're studying with, your roommate's boyfriend. It is very often someone you know. And he says to let your intuition be your guide.
Anytime we're like investigating a rape or a sexual assault, usually the person will tell us that something was said or something happened or something in the person's demeanor changed, and they didn't listen to their inner self, and so they tried to kind of pass it off and try to not listen to their own promptings that they're getting, and consequently, you know, or had a problem. You can also use
For one student in the RAD class who has been sexually assaulted in her past, learning about self-defense and how to spot out a predator is powerful. She says it has helped her realize she has the ability to fight back.
I'm not as worthless as he made me feel. For anyone who has been sexually assaulted, it's a pretty demeaning thing. And this class definitely makes you feel like you're pretty empowered.
The Rape Aggression Defense course is offered for students on campus, which can be registered for with the start of each semester.
You know that novel you have inside of you? The Logan Library wants to help you get it out. Both the young and the less young came together at the Logan Library Saturday afternoon to get tips from Utah authors on how to make your writing better.
Well, as much as I like reading books, I also want to be able to create my own stories.
Cassius said that this conference helped her get closer to reaching her dreams to become an author, and it's an annual event, so get working on your next draft. Check out our Facebook link for a link to videos for the lecture from the videos.
You will see more color in the library next time you go to study. That's thanks to an interior designer student. Shani Howard joins us live to tell us more about this 3D display was made. Shani?
This is a piece left over from the art display in the library. It is made of wood and vinyl. The entire display can be found in the library, but the original project was only made out of some paper. Weaver said she was inspired by the dual tones, holes, and unique wall pattern when she decided to put her freshman 3D art project in the library, but she never expected it to become so popular.
I never thought that the feedback would be so positive from the public.
After getting dozens of compliments on the piece, the library decided to make the art piece permanent, something they had never done for a student before. If you'd like to see the display, it can be found on the east wall of the library's first floor. Reporting live, Shani Howard, ATV News.
Thanks, Shani.
Coming up, we'll have ATV's Alex Zellner, and she'll have your Cache Valley weather report.
The current temperature is 45 degrees.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Can you concern with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite,
unearth hidden passion.
Come on, we'll have a good time.
Plant seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic.
To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall.
Can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life.
People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome back. Alex Zellner is here to tell us what's coming up in our weather. How's it looking?
It's actually kind of warming up. What do you guys think about the weather lately? It's been a little warmer than usual
Yeah.
for January, right?
Ideal for me.
Okay, I get that. You know what though? First, we actually had a super blue blood moon yesterday. Isn't that kind of weird? So let me tell you guys what that is, because I didn't know myself. Super means it's the closest moon to the Earth, so it appears much larger than it actually would normally. Blue means it's the second full moon of the month. And blood is when the Earth actually starts to pass in front of the moon, between the moon and the sun, and creates kind of a red hue. And you can actually see on this chart from NASA what I'm kind of talking about here. Last night, the super blue blood moon, which is a very rare occurrence, happened, and you can actually see the umbra of the moon and the sun passing kind of in with the Earth in the middle, which turned it red. And I actually have some pictures of the super blue blood moon from Yellowstone. Check that out. Isn't that amazing? That was what you could have seen last night, probably around 4 or 5 a.m. this morning. It was pretty amazing, but you know what? Let's get to some weather. Out here on the west coast, you can see that there's a little bit of a storm up in the Washington and Oregon area, and there is some precipitation happening in California, but there isn't a lot of weather coming in by us. There is some clouds, but we aren't seeing any rain through this area. If we head over here into the Midwest, you can see that there actually is some rain and some snow. That lighter blue means snow. That darker blue means some rain. That green means heavier rain. If you go into the East Coast, there isn't any foreseeable precipitation. It is pretty clear skies. Same thing with the middle of the country. Let's see what we got going on local. If you look through here, we have the Salt Lake Valley's looking pretty clear. There is some scattered showers going on through there, but you're just getting your high clouds and more comfortable weather than you should be seeing. We could start getting some precipitation over the weekend, so that could continue to affect us and build as we move forward into this week. Let's go to our 7-day. As you can see, today we have a high of 43 and a low of 28. It's been pretty comfortable, some high clouds. But on Thursday, we actually have a 20% chance of rain, a high of 43 and a low of 31. What that can do when it gets below freezing is that could actually freeze some of that rain we might see, which could create icy roads. So definitely be careful if you are traveling tomorrow. Friday, same thing. We have a 20% chance of rain, a high of 44 and a low of 34. Saturday, we have a high of 45 and a low of 35. Again, a slight chance of rain, but you should just see some scattered clouds and some sunshine. We're kind of looking through Tuesday with the same thing. On Sunday, we have a high of 46 and a low of 34. Monday, we're going to be 50 degrees, but we could see a little rain, but it should be comfortable. Tuesday, we have a high of 48 and a low of 31. Could see some rain, could also see some sunshine. It is Cache Valley. So, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the weather the last couple days.
Can you guys believe it's going to get up to 50 degrees?
I'm really not looking forward to the rain, but
no, I get that. At least it's not snow if that's not what you're into.
True.
So
gotta stay positive.
There is that.
When we come back, Win after win for the Aggies this weekend. Haley Hendricks will show you how they did it coming up in sports.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book could be the first thing helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Guarded by Hopkins with 6, with 5, with 4. McEwen with it, gives it back. Henson for 3. Go!
That was Fresno State's announcer making the call on Darren Henson's winning shot with just 0.2 seconds on the clock. The men's basketball team came out with a victory on the road after a close game of 65-62 against Fresno State Saturday night. Henson led the team, scoring 18 points and shooting nearly perfect, going 6 of the 7 from the floor. Henson was joined by Sam Merrill and Dwayne Brown Jr., who also scored in double digits, leading the team to its victory. The Aggies will start the second half of conference play as they set to face the New Mexico Lobos tonight at 7 p.m. here at the Spectrum. Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Haley Hendricks. Wasn't that basketball game pretty exciting? There's plenty of more where that came from. Let's take off with the women's basketball, who played at Fresno State this weekend. The Aggies snapped a 3-game losing streak by coming out with a 60-52 win at home. 3 of the players scored in double digits, including Olivia West, who finished with 12 points coming off the bench. Rachel Brewster tossed the ball to Haley Bassett, who lines the baseline jumper. Bassett led all scores of the night with 18 points.
A character team and a fun-loving team and a team that wants to win, but we just need to start winning because winning is contagious, and that's why I say I hope this is a game that we can kind of turn the corner a little bit.
And the men's tennis team played in California this weekend, kicking off the weekend tournament with a 4-2 win against the University of Central Florida, but then losing on Sunday to the University of Los Angeles. After winning 3,000 meters last weekend at the Washington Invitational, Utah State track and field distance runner Dylan Maggard was named the America First Credit Union Utah State Student Athlete of the Week. The hockey team had some ice wins this weekend as they came out on top with 3 wins against the University of Wyoming, Colorado State, and the University of Colorado. They extended their overall season record to 25-6. They'll play Thursday night at the Eccles Ice Center at 7 p.m. It was a good weekend for the Aggies. Back to you, Yasmin and Nicole.
Coming up, tryouts on horseback. We'll show you what sport is gaining popularity in Utah.
Drinks for the environment, how green drinks is changing Logan one sip at a time.
Students in biological engineering at Utah State University have the unique chance through the Synthetic Biomanufacturing Institute to engineer uses for spider silk. Projects developed in the lab include medical coatings, strong adhesives, and elastic woven fibers. These Aggies from Utah State are influencing and changing the face of biological engineering. Join them and leave your mark as well.
I'm 1 on Lucky Guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Thanks for staying with us. Have you ever been flipping through the channels and seen horses jumping over fences and the riders actually stay on? It's a growing sport here at USU. ATV's Bronson Teicher went to the team tryouts to find out why.
Taylor Kilgore wants to keep her hair out of her face when she saddles up her horse. She started riding when she was 4 years old. She loves it so much, she brought her horse Finn to school with her.
It is the most important thing in my life, and most important to him too.
The two were warming up before they try out for a spot on the equestrian team. Kilgore says it's an opportunity to improve the skills she's been working on 18 years. Finn, a bit less.
I've had him for just under a year, and so we're still just trying to get used to each other and kind of get to know each other and work together a little better.
The USU equestrian coaches are looking at the same thing that judges will be looking for in competition, things like balance and how well you control the horse.
Victoria's doing so good on Josie. I was gonna say she looks awesome. Do they have a style on the horse? Do they have a good rapport with the horse? There's a lot of catch riding that goes on in these competitions, and so making sure, can they get on several different horses and make the horse as presentable as possible.
Munz stresses proper equipment use, the bit that goes in the horse's mouth, the reins, and the saddle. For tiebreakers during competitions, judges will quiz athletes about the anatomy and physiology of the horse.
And it's exciting to see this group. It's exciting to see this quality of rider come out and show up. So I could not be happier with the turnout with it and with the caliber of riders I'm seeing here.
The team still needs more horses for practice and competition. But as the sport gains momentum in Utah, Munz is confident more four-legged athletes will join the team. Bronson Teicher, ATV News.
Because the sport is still growing in Utah, the USU English equestrian team will travel to Colorado for competitions.
Do you like hanging out with your friends? Do you also like talking about the environment? Green Drinks may be the thing for you. Green Drinks is a clean air initiative hosted by Blue Goes Green that meets the last Tuesday of every month to talk about ways to make USU and Logan a greener place. Last night, the topic of discussion was inversion and ways they could help improve air quality in Cache Valley. Green Drink meetings start with a brief speaker, then move to networking over drinks with people passionate about green initiatives. Blue Goes Green leaders say they are happy to see this in the community and hope these meetings can continue.
By doing green drinks, it's less about an agenda and more about meeting people, enjoying the experience, and learning something.
If you'd like to join the conversation and attend Blue Goes Green's next meeting, it's on February 27th at Bull's Head.
What would it take for you to jump into Bear Lake in January? For some people, it didn't take much. These people are jumping into a cold Bear Lake for the Bear Lake Monster Winterfest. Hundreds of people gathered to watch the plunge and eat chili. Jumping into 33-degree water, plungers came dressed in costumes as part of the 9-year tradition. And as part of that tradition, every year at the event, locals say they keep an eye out for the Bear Lake Monster.
Oh, I did hear one little kid, and he thought he saw the little tail end, so we'll never know. We'll never know. Hopefully, maybe somebody will come and tell us.
Donations from the plunge were donated to Common Ground Outdoor Adventure in Logan.
Yeah, so what did you guys think about Bear Lake? Would you guys jump in?
I don't think I would. It looks pretty chilly.
I don't think I would either.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
Catch all our latest editions on our Facebook page and keep up with us on Twitter and Instagram.
Enjoy some shots of Cache Valley.